In Dearborn Heights, Detroit, in 2017, the police arrived at a home to arrest a man sitting patiently on his porch for 4 counts of murder. They found 4 members of his immediate family dead on scene, and his wife brutally assaulted and tortured. This heartbreaking case still fascinates anyone with an interest in true crime, because the details of the murders and victims are still so hard to comprehend. In this video, we explore the story of Gregory Green and his long, dark history. We begin with the famous case in 2017 where several family members were tortured and killed. From there, we will delve deeper into his past to see whether this was a moment of insanity or history repeating itself. As with all these videos, we really want to hear what you think of this case. Whenever people talk about Gregory Green and his history as a murder suspect, the most mysterious part is the motive. What caused him to kill all these children in such a brutal manner? Is he truly as evil as people say with nothing but planned torture on his mind? Or is this a classic case of an insane mind cracking under the pressure of family life? Let us know in the comment section below and enjoy the video. The name Gregory Green will send chills down the spine for years to come. This sadistic murderer gained greater notoriety with a documentary called A Special Place in Hell from the Evil Lives Here ID channel docuseries. 7 years on from his disturbing planned murder, this case is still heartbreaking because of the details of his victims. Today we're going to go through the Gregory Green murder case and look at what he did. You might think you know all there is to know about this case via the reports out of Dearborn Heights. However, Green hid a much darker secret from his wife for years. Keep watching to see how history ended up disturbingly repeating itself. Then you can let us know. Is Gregory Green insane or pure evil and out for revenge? The murder case of Gregory Green. Gregory Green currently faces a 45 to 100-year sentence, which could mean he spends the rest of his natural life behind prison. The verdict was handed out in 2017, and it included 4 counts of murder in the 2nd degree. In addition, he entered a guilty plea to the charges of torturing someone, assaulting someone with the purpose to cause severe bodily damage, and committing a firearms crime. Due to the latter, his sentence was increased by 2 years, which means that he will not be eligible for parole until he is 97 years old. During the hearing, the judge decided not to proceed with additional counts of unlawful confinement, felonious assault, and felon in possession of a handgun. It is now crystal evident why there are so many references to hell and evil in those programs as a result of the amazing array of allegations that have been brought against one person. So what happened? The shootings and torture of Faith Green and their stepchildren. 2 of the counts of 2nd-degree murder that form Gregory Green's sentence relate to the deaths of his 2 stepchildren. Chadney Allen, who was 19, and Kara Allen, who was 17, were from Faith's previous relationship. Gregory shot both of them in the head on the night of September 21, 2016, and left them in the basement of his home in Dearborn Heights, Detroit. This was no crime of passion or accidental death. This attack was all a deliberate attempt to murder his stepchildren and torture his wife in the process. He shot both of the teenagers execution style right in front of their mother. There was nothing she could do about any of it because Gregory had restrained her with duct tape and zip tips. She had also been brutally assaulted with a slash to the face via a box cutter and a gunshot wound to the foot. The horrific incident scarred Faith Green deeply, causing severe nightmares, migraines, and other symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder. Faith's courage to speak out in the forthcoming documentary shows her determination for the world to see Gregory Green's true nature. If we were to stop the video here, I think we could all agree that this is already one of the most hideous murder cases we've discussed on this channel. However, I have to warn you now that the plot does thicken, and the rest of this case is pretty dark. If you're a subscriber, you know we don't sugarcoat things here. If you're not, and you like this sort of content, don't forget to subscribe and give us a like to help us out. Okay, so with the trigger warning out the way, let's talk about the other 2 deaths, the murder of Gregory Green's biological children. Gregory Green was charged with a total of 4 counts of 2nd-degree murder, all of which stemmed from the same incident that took place in September 2016. 2 of the fatalities were the stepchildren who were killed in front of their mother. These 2 stepchildren were among the victims. The other 2 children were younger biological children of his. It is a blessing that Faith was spared the agony of witnessing the deaths of these children in front of her, and the manner in which they passed away was not as gruesome. In spite of this, they continue to be shocking and difficult to fathom. Both Coy Green and her younger sister, Callie Green, were only 5 years old. Coy Green's younger sister was only 4 years old. On the driveway of the family home, Gregory deposited them in the trunk of his automobile. There, he abandoned them to die to death from the carbon monoxide that was coming from the car's exhaust. A premeditated crime. The deaths of such young biological children are hard to comprehend. One way to rationalize could be that maybe he was sparing them in his twisted way, or that it was a moment of blind panic following the other murders. The problem is that these murders were clearly premeditated. Gregory was seen shopping at Home Depot a week before the murders buying piping. That piping was then used to modify the exhaust system of the car and flood the vehicle with poisonous CO. He knew exactly what he was doing, and it is conceivable that he devised the torture plan and shootings around the same time. Another chilling detail of this murder case, following the deaths of the 4 children and the torture of his wife, was how he handled the aftermath. He didn't run away from the scene of the crime. Instead, he called the cops on himself, told them what had happened, and said he'd wait on the front porch for them. He sat there outside his property with the suffocated children on the driveway and the dead teens in the house. So far, I think we all can agree that this story is one of the most tragic cases of infanticide in recent memory. The details of the crimes against both his stepkids and his own young biological children are ghastly. Veteran law enforcement officers working at the scene even went as far as to say it was the worst case they had ever responded to. Sadly, this story goes even deeper with Green's tragic relationship with Faith and his past crimes. Gregory Green's past crimes. We need to delve deeper into Gregory Green's past and his relationship with the Harris family, so that we can get a better understanding of both this case and the man who was behind it. On the surface, it appears as though there is a tale of deception, in which a young woman falls in love with a man without realizing that he is a monster in disguise. However, further research into their more extensive history reveals some troubling aspects of their past. Green's marriage to Faith was not his first serious commitment to a partner. The opportunity for the man to improve himself and demonstrate that he had evolved as a human being should have presented itself here. It had the makings of a redemption story, at least to some degree. On the other hand, this was not even close to being accurate. Gregory lied to his new wife about his history, which broke their faith in him as well as the trust of people who knew him. When he first met Faith Harris, he didn't provide any hints about the seriousness of the crimes he had committed in the past. She couldn't help but be swayed by his charm and allowed him to become the center of her life, but she ultimately had to pay the price for her naivete. You have to understand that Gregory Green's first time behind bars wasn't the result of a minor infraction or an unintentional first transgression of any kind. He was serving a 16-year term for the murder he committed. The murder of Tanya Green. In 1992, Gregory Green killed his first wife Tanya by way of stabbing. The incident occurred at their home on July 14, 1991. This was not an accidental killing, as there were several deliberate stab wounds to Tanya's body. They were in her left cheek, neck, chest, and back. What makes the case even sadder is that she was 30 weeks pregnant at the time of her murder, causing Green to also kill the unborn child. Another detail that isn't always mentioned in reports from the scene is that Tanya's other children were present at the time of the stabbing. Neither child was physically harmed in the incident, but is sure to have suffered mental scarring. One apparently hid from danger in a closet until it was all over. What is mysterious about this original crime is that it is so similar to the one involving Faith and her children. Just as with the second case, Green was the one to contact the police. He told them what had happened and calmly waited for them to attend and arrest him. When they arrived, he let them inside the property saying, "I stabbed her. She's in the kitchen." Many feel that the sentence passed down to Gregory following the case was not enough for the crime committed. Regardless of any issues with his mental state or provocation, he brutally stabbed and killed his wife and unborn child. Relatives of Tanya were understandably devastated by the initial sentence of 15 to 20 years. With parole, he could have been out and back in society far too soon, seeking parole with the help of Pastor Fred Harris. This is where the plot thickens significantly regarding the relationship between Gregory Green and the Harris family. There are many reports about the murders of the 4 children that highlight that it was Faith's father who had secured Gregory's release from prison for a previous crime. Fred Harris was a pastor and civil rights activist and had lobbied on behalf of Green to get him parole. The support worked. They took him into the community, and he later began his relationship with the pastor's daughter. The court denied him early parole in both 2004 and 2006 until the words of encouragement from Fred Harris worked their charm in 2008. This meant that Gregory served just 16 years for killing Tanya and was now free to start his life over in the community. Now, you might expect that this was a case of a man of God seeking to help a prisoner who had served his time and sought retribution. This is true to an extent, as Green did appear to want to make amends for what he had done. However, it seems that Fred Harris knew Gregory Green before his conviction. This raises questions about how well Faith knew him, and how much she actually knew about his past before marrying him. Official documents in support of Green's parole from August 2005 show that Pastor Harris spoke surprisingly highly of him. He wrote that the two were friends prior to his incarceration due to Green's membership with the church. He assured the parole board that he and the church community would do all they could to help him adjust to a new life. This is especially chilling, knowing what happened to the pastor's daughter and grandchildren. Another detail that is shocking under the circumstances is the way Pastor Green describes the first murder. He referred to it as a mishap and an unfortunate lack of self-control. He also talks about the damage caused rather than the loss of life. This is a strange way to describe such a sinful act and downplays the murder to a dramatic degree. These words, along with Green's behavior in prison, helped secure his release. Why did history repeat itself in the Gregory Green case? When looking back at this attack from 1991 and the details surrounding the parole, we have to wonder how Green was able to carry out such a similar murder all those years later. Records from the prison suggest that Green was a good-natured man, and there was nothing in his character to show he would kill again. Those records from the jail paint a picture of a model citizen, to a point. They claim that Green was never able to explain why he broke the way he did and inflicted those stab wounds on Tanya. This is in line with the idea there was a moment of madness where he wasn't himself. While in prison, Green followed the rules very well, worked to better himself, and rarely got in trouble. There was an incident where he got into a fight over a television, but that's it for 16 years behind bars. His parole eligibility report used the word excellent and cited his good work history and respect towards the staff. Naturally, this situation leads us to wonder if there was some snapping point and moment of insanity that caused Green to murder in the way he did. Still, the evidence and the details of the second murder spree make that unlikely. The plea of insanity is an important part of this case. This was a crucial aspect of his defense in 1992 and led to a mental examination. Some believe that he exhibited diminished responsibility due to his mental state. However, this becomes questionable when comparing the first case to the second. Unsurprisingly, the psychiatric evaluation of Gregory Green following the later murders showed him to be of sound mind and able to stand trial. They found he had no diminished responsibility. There are so many similarities and repetitions that the idea of a random killing and act of insanity becomes hard to believe. If the murder of the children via the modified car exhaust was premeditated to that degree, is the same not true for the other deaths? Was the ability to wait calmly after calling the police down to a lack of empathy? Was there a resignation of guilt rather than two identical moments of madness? Why did Green murder his victims? So what was the motive if this wasn't insanity? It would appear that Green's behavior at home was not always as upstanding as it had been while he was incarcerated. There are reports from those who live nearby concerning his explosive anger. In addition to this, the problems that had been brewing in his marriage were reaching a fever pitch. There is no question in anyone's mind that Gregory Green intended to torment Faith. It was quite cruel of him to bind her, cut her, and kill teenagers in front of her as he did all of those things. It is thought that he took pleasure in seeing her go through the pain that resulted from the end of their relationship.
it's hard to go on when you see people with their kids, and then like, you know, if you have to go to the store, it's like you try to hurry up and pass the clothes, because then it's like, oh, I would have bought that for them. And then it's like, you know, people may say like, oh, she's smiling, she looks okay, but you know, really I'm not. You just, I don't know, I gotta go on, you know.
How are you doing? I mean, you mentioned the short-term memory loss.
Honestly, I have a lot of bad days. My depression has gotten worse. Like I used to didn't believe those commercials where they say depression hurts. It really hurts. There's days I cannot get up. I have to like kind of pep talk myself. It's, you know, just it's a hard day. It's hard. This year is worse than last year.
A few days before the murder, Faith issued Gregory with divorce papers, and he was also concerned that she had been unfaithful to him. During the course of the trial, Faith confronted him with this information, alleging that he had 4 innocent children, all because you're insecure. Faith also accused him of being a murderer. She sat through the proceedings while using a wheelchair and wore a veil over her face the entire time. In addition to this, she got what she wanted, which was a divorce. Last but not least, there is yet another significant facet of the picture that provides additional insight into the nature of their connection. During the course of the event, when Green was speaking to the police, he shared the following information with them. I shot my ex-wife. It is interesting that the term ex-wife was used because it demonstrates a level of separation from the victim. Was it wishful thinking on his part? Was it an indication that he had completely removed himself from reality? Or was it because of the claims that he regarded her in this light? Pure evil or deranged? There are still questions to answer regarding the mental state of Gregory Green. The cold, hard facts of this disturbing murder case and its heartbreaking prequel show that this is a man that deserves life imprisonment. Some may argue he has to be crazy to do these things. Others will claim he is the devil in human form. Let us know your opinion in the comment section below. Is Gregory Green pure evil and knew exactly what he was doing, or did he go insane twice? Either way, far too many of his innocent family members paid the price. We appreciate that this was a dark episode, so thanks a lot for sticking with us and supporting the channel once again. Make sure to hit that notification bell for the next one. See you again then.